quick life update at currently 9:30. It is April 25th. It is April 25th, 2025, and man, am I exhausted. Oh man. I'm about to move into my apartment next month. Luca, one of my closest friends, he's gonna be moving down here. My other boy from North Carolina, he's gonna be moving down here, Jason. And it's interesting, with everything going on, I have so many people telling me that, like, they're proud of me, and it doesn't touch me, or it doesn't hit me as you would think, Like, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of where I want to be. And the interesting part about it all is that when most people say, or they get what is it called? I think it's gratification from other people, like saying like they're proud of you, or you're doing great, or don't worry about it, you're doing fine. Like, it's very easy to fall into that. It's very easy to fall into that and let that go to your head. And even on the bad side, like, people will tell you like, oh, you should quit, or you should go back to school, or you're never going to be able to get that business going. And I've gotten to a point now where I understand you can't let either side affect you. You can't let the comments, whether positive or negative. Like, I've had people comment and be like, hey, this has actually changed my life, or thank you so much for this, or people commenting, like, you got a big head, or oh, dude, I understand what you're saying, but your head is so big. Like whether good or bad, I don't let it get to me. I don't let it fuel my ego, and I don't let it pull me away from knowing who I am. And I find it very, I find one thing very intimidating, and it's the ability to stay disciplined. Like, having the wrong people in your circle will affect how disciplined you are. And you know how disciplined you are when you start to realize the people that are around you in your environment, you need to cut out, because they're not good for you. And like, even at like work, like, don't get me wrong, I have much respect for the people I work with and who I'm around. They're good people. They're good people. But they're not people I want to be around my entire life. And that's no disrespect. They've taught me a lot. I've created a lot of memories with them. But I say this because, once you're around a certain group of people for a long period of time, you start to like get comfortable in that environment. And if you're not disciplined enough, and if you're not strong enough, and you don't have the vision or the dream that is clear enough, then you're gonna fall into the mentality of the environment in which you're in. So you have to be careful. But I didn't really want to take too much into detail with this video. But what I do kind of want to finish off with, and it's probably gonna be like the next 5 minutes that I go into this, is when momentum is going in the direction and you want it to go in, you can't focus just on that momentum. Because if you continue to just think the momentum is gonna keep going and going and going and going for you, then you'll never be ready for when it just stops. I think in the Bible it says it best, the the ants think winter all summer, and they also think summer all winter. And it's true. And that's something I'm starting to apply in my own life. Applying when the good times are, don't get me wrong, there's a difference between living in the good times and preparing for the bad times. Like, you can still be present in the good times. Trust me, like I've been there. But if you get too caught up in the good times, then you'll never be prepared for when the bad times come. And it's very, very interesting because the person I've become over these past like 7 to 8 months, it's been completely different. I don't really show it all that much at my job. Like, the perception in which my coworkers perceive me, it's very interesting because I don't give the persona that I do on here. On here, I feel like I'm more my natural self in a way. Where am I trying to get at with this? What I'm trying to get at with this is this is not really like a kind of like a lesson video that I do with Milo. It's just more like a update kind of video. But to continue with what I was saying is to get caught up in the highs and the lows. I think that's what life is about. But if you don't prepare for them, then they're always going to be 10 times in the amount of which you thought it was. Like, I talked to a guy today, or a customer, and his brother had won the Michigan lottery. I think it was like $500,000 or something like that. And he ended up with like $300,000 after taxes and everything. And when that happened, he told his brother, like, hey, you need to give like 10% back to God. Like, you need to give back. Like, you have been blessed in this position. You need to be able to give back to others who don't have the same blessing as you. And his brother's like, yeah, I will. Never did it. And he ended up doing all these things and just blowing his money. Like, he got caught up in the highs. Buying a new house, buying a new truck, got married to a very, very young woman. And after a year and a half, after all this fun, he passed away. I think the man was in his 60s. And then you hear stories about, like, Joseph and how he went from being sold by his brothers and thrown in prison to end up being one of the rulers of Egypt. It's interesting. It's interesting how the pain and the trials and the journey will help prepare you more for the highs than they will for the lows, because you've already been through the lows. And you'll never ever be prepared for the lows, because you don't know how low it can go. It's very interesting. Like, we know how to celebrate the highs. We know how to celebrate the good times. We know what to do when things are going right. But it's very hard to learn and to know when it's not. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So, there's no really moral to this. I didn't really plan on speaking on a specific topic like I normally do. Just wanted to update my life a little bit. Moving out in May, like I said, I am excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited. Even though I don't really show it. I'm very excited. And I'm also very excited for the isolation that I'll be in. I'm excited for the people that I'll be surrounded by, the new environment that I'll be in with just me and 2 other brothers. But I'm also excited for the pain that's to come. You know, some of the greatest kings and some of the most successful people in the world became successful from the pain in which they endured. And success isn't, I wouldn't say success isn't measured by the materialistic things or the outcome in which you have fell into or pushed to. I think success should be measured by the efforts in which and the lessons in which you learned and the person you become along the way. I really had to think about my words real quick. I actually have a quote that's in my quote list. Oh my gosh, I can't remember to save the life of me, but it goes like that. It's like you should never judge success by the outcome of what you've got, but by the lessons in which you've learned to get what you got. And I think that's what I'm excited for, because the pain will always be temporary. It may not seem like it in the heat of the moment, because it's like, yo, what the, like, I'm screwed right now. But it's temporary. It's temporary, you know? The man I was talking to, the man I was talking to today about his brother winning the lottery. He was telling me he really enjoyed talking to the youth, and he really enjoyed talking to me. And he said, man, if I could pay any dollar amount in the world, or if I could just snap my fingers to go back to being 22. And he's like, man, 50 years has gone by, and I'd do it all over again. And you could just feel and just sense his tonality of, you know, wanting to go back and do it all over again. You know, even I'm going through the pain in which God is putting me through. I'm blessed by it, because I have the wisdom to know that it will be temporary. Being young is going to be temporary. Being through this pain will be temporary. Everything is temporary. And the blessing about knowing that is, once it's gone, I'll be at peace with it. You know, there's gonna come a time where I stop doing these. There's gonna come a time where I won't be able to enjoy my peace as I do now. Because I'll have a wife, I'll have kids. I won't be able to enjoy it as much as I do now. So enjoy what you have now, regardless of what it is. You know, even when I had negative $1.39 in my bank account, I still knew it was temporary. I knew it wasn't gonna be forever. It was very interesting. That next day I made $300. Crazy. So yeah, this video wasn't really, I didn't really want to make it about life lessons. I didn't want to make it about anything that I've really learned. Just really wanted to come on here and give a quick life update. that's about it. I want to go on a little bit more, but I do actually want to get some sleep tonight. These past 3 days I haven't gotten any sleep. So yeah, I'm still not good at closing these videos out. I'm gonna try to find like a little like, I keep saying I'm gonna do that, but I like how natural I keep it before I, you know, close off the video or stop the video. I don't know. But anyways,